Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maelstrom. This is Kieran, and today we'll be looking at the Hunter's Notes and moveset for the other legendary Super Saiyan, Rajang. Let's get started. The Rajang is classified as a Fang beast and is a Monster Hunter veteran with its first appearance in Monster Hunter 2. It's been a series regular since, and I would say is top 5 in terms of being iconic to the Monster Hunter franchise. The Rajang's threat level of 8 ranks it amongst some of the most fierce monsters in the game, and is well deserved. I'm sure many people had the same thought when they first saw the Rajang power up in the game. He's gone Super Saiyan. The Rajang in its golden form definitely reminds me of the Golden Great Ape from Dragon Ball GT. I was almost expecting the Rajang to fire a Kamehameha the first time I faced it, but unfortunately, we'll just have to settle for this. The Rajang is a super fierce beast, but is fairly small in comparison with many of the tougher monsters in the game. As such, it doesn't have as many attackable body parts as some of its larger counterparts. The Rajang has your basic head, torso, foreleg, hind leg, and tail, with the foreleg, head, and tail being breakable, so feel free to try to break those parts before he breaks you. Okay, so when it comes to weapon types versus Rajang's body parts, across all weapon types, hitting the Rajang's head is most effective, followed by its foreleg and torso. As for elemental weapons, using ice will give you the most advantage, with water being effective at a much lesser degree. Just a note that the Rajang deals lightning damage, so prepare your defenses accordingly. Finally, the Rajang is immune to most ailments, with Blast and Ice Blight being the most effective at 2 stars, followed by Fire Blight, Water Blight, and Thunder Blight at 1 star. So, let's move on to the portion of the video where we look at the moveset of the Rajang. The Rajang will undergo several transformations during the course of the fight, going from its normal form to Super Saiyan, and finally ascending to Super Saiyan 2 with those heavy-duty forearms. Either way, the Rajang's attacks come at the hunter fast and furious, so be on high alert at all times during the fight. Just to follow up on the transformations, at one point the Rajang will power up to what I call its Super Saiyan 2 form, and his forearms will turn red. The Rajang will move faster and hit harder in this mode, and any of your attacks will deflect when you try to hit his forearms. In order to knock him out of this mode, try to focus your attacks on his tail. The first move on the list is the Charging Fist, which, as the name implies, involves the Rajang coming at the hunter with fists a-swinging. He does this move a lot, and he can change directions when doing it, so definitely be aware of this move. The setup to look out for is the Rajang will stand up straight and wind its arms back before swinging away at the hunter. Sticking with his fist attacks, the Rajang will occasionally use a double fist smash where it will raise both its arms over its head before smashing down with both fist and body onto the hunter. Oh, and that is the setup, so next move. Moving from a double fist smash to a triple smash attack, the Rajang will punch the ground twice before winding up with one arm and smashing down with a furious punch in front of it. The setup is very quick, as it will reach back over its head with one arm before proceeding to unleash the flurry of punches. By now, You can tell that the Rajang loves throwing punches, so it shouldn't be a surprise that the next move is also a punch related move. We're talking about what appears to be an uppercut. The Rajang, while on all fours, will raise one arm and throw an uppercut before dragging the other arm across the ground and throwing another uppercut. I think that's it for punch moves, so next in line is a headbutt attack. The Rajang will be on all fours before turning towards the hunter with its head slightly tilted and charging at you. The move is unleashed very quickly, so it may be hard to spot, so just keep an eye out. There's also a move where the Rajang kind of swipes or digs at the hunter. I haven't seen this move much in my battles against Rajang, but he basically charges at the hunter and digs at you with one of his arms. I've seen him use this with varying distances, and there really isn't much of an indicator as it's unleashed fairly fast. Okay, so I did forget one more move that involves the Rajang's fists, and that's the jump slam. So the Rajang will jump into the air and slam down onto the ground with its fists. The setup to look out for is that the Rajang will roar while it has its arms open and will gather itself before leaping and slamming the fists into the ground. Okay, so getting back away from the punch moves, the Rajang is a powerful beast, as we all know, and it likes to show off those muscles by lifting the earth from in front of it, and while it's in the air, it may also launch itself in a cannonball at the hunter. The setup for this is once again the Rajang standing on its legs and winding its arms before reaching into the ground. So pay attention to this action each time. Next, we have the spin attack, where the Rajang will spin its entire body forward toward the hunter. The setup looks a lot like the charging fists setup, with the difference being that the Rajang will only wind one arm instead of both. Our next move has the Rajang backing that butt up with a back hop. The Rajang occasionally takes a hop back, which can level the hunter. I was a bit hesitant to list this as a move, but it does damage you when you get hit, so I guess why not? The move is coming if you see the Rajang hop in place on all fours, as if gathering itself before launching that booty towards the hunter. The Rajang must be a blast at pool parties, as he's a pro at cannonballs. The Rajang will leap into the air, curl into a ball, and blast itself towards the hunter. The only indication you will get is that it does a quick hop in place on all fours before leaping up into the air. So the Rajang has two projectile attacks. The first is that he will leap into the air and shoot a ball of energy towards the hunter. This one is a bit hard to gauge as he unleashes it very quickly, with the only indication being that he jumps into the air, so be alert. The second projectile attack has the Rajang fire a beam of energy, which, while isn't the Kamehameha wave we were all expecting, looks a lot like the energy beam that the Great Ape would fire. Anyway, the Rajang will stand up on its hind legs, waving his arms like he's about to pound his chest before jumping on all fours and firing off the beam. The final move in the Rajang's arsenal is a grab and toss. The Rajang will charge at the hunter, grabbing and shaking before tossing the hunter to the ground. He'll then follow up with an attack that's usually devastating enough to crush the hunter, unless you wire bug away, so try to have one on hand at all times, just in case. Phew, that was a long list of moves. The Rajang is a powerful and agile beast that's one of the more formidable monsters in the game. Nonetheless, it's a blast to fight, and there's something satisfying about getting your butt handed to you by the Rajang. Anyway, We'll end the video with some photos of the armor sets, which really demonstrates the wild and groovy feeling of the Rajang. Like, subscribe, tune in next time when you enter the maelstrom. This is Kieran, signing off.
Oshia! 次だ次!